What's going on, guys? Welcome to Voice of the Jungle. Tanner here once again. So it's week 5. We just watched the Bills play Bengals here at home. It was rainy. It was disgusting. I definitely did not go down. And until we see some major changes in the front office and the coaching staff, I don't know if I want to. Although I will always be a Bengals fan. I literally have them tattooed on my body. So I pretty much, I could like another team, but I can't leave the Bengals. So that being said, today's game finally looked like a damn football game. It was rough, it was tough, it was rainy, a lot of shit happened, and the number one thing that pops out in my head is the 2 interceptions that Andy Dalton had. And everybody's gonna try and talk to me tomorrow, and they're gonna say, "Oh shit, Andy Dalton had 2 interceptions. We got to get rid of him. Put McCarron in." No, stop it. No, Andy Dalton was playing better than he has all year. He was on point. He was in sync with the other players, especially with AJ Green. I think AJ's comment, a couple weeks ago about getting the ball to the key players, I think that did a lot. And as we saw today, well over 100 yards between the both of them. And the 2 interceptions that are going to be marked under Andy's numbers, those were caused by AJ Green. That being said, it's a rainy day. A lot of stuff was going on. The Bills, they have a hard-hitting defense. And granted, all the players weren't there. But again, they have a good defense. So to have AJ put those numbers up in combination with Andy, that's awesome. That being said, AJ Green is a pro wide receiver. He's a Pro Bowl wide receiver. So, I'm on the fence. And obviously, I think I want to let it slide because he's AJ Green. He is our #1 wide receiver. He's one of the best, arguably one of the best in the NFL. He continues to do what no other wide receivers are doing, making the plays that no other wide receivers are making. And overall, he's absolutely incredible. Maybe it was the juggling he did as in his teenage years, but nevertheless, AJ Green continues to be fantastic. So does Andy Dalton. That being said, let's add another one to the list. Joe Mixon. That kid is going to be the face of the Bengals. Or at least I hope so. Because for the first time in God knows how long, we actually look like a team that can run the ball. There's a lot of work to be done. We're only 5 games into Mixon's first season as an NFL player. But he continues to show that he has the ability to make the plays when needed. And, his sidestepping ability, he's dancing around. He's doing whatever he needs to. He's making plays. When he gets hit, he is not just taking the knee or falling down with it. When he gets hit, he's moving. He's trying to see where else he can come in with the play. He continues to be awesome. I am so glad that we picked him up. Now, granted, that might be a touchy subject for a few people, but even as he said, and I'm paraphrasing, that he has something to prove. He's got a lot to prove. And he's continuing to prove that every time that he steps on the field. And I got to look up the stats for how many yards he had, but let's not even look at that. He had his first professional career touchdown. 5 weeks in his rookie season, and he's putting up great numbers. He will, mark my words, he will, if you wouldn't consider it already, be the face of the Bengals running game. He's going to be right up there. Jeremy Hill can pretty much go as far as I'm concerned. He's turned into the brand new Benjarvis Green Ellis. He's had his rookie breakout season, but other than that, he's continued to diminish every year. Especially a few years back when we saw Giovanni Bernard really stepping up in the wake of the fumbles that he was causing, that Hill was causing. Ever since then, his play has been diminishing. And I'm not saying he's not a great running back and a really hard-hitting, right drive, right up the middle kind of running back. But I think it's time for him to go. If we have a back with Giovanni Bernard and we put Joe Mixon in as RB1, I think the Bengals offense, given the offensive line struggles that we have, I think the offense is starting to really play in sync. They're starting to shape up. They're starting to look like the old Bengals. That being said, once again, I keep going back to things. They are not the Bengals that went 10-6. They're not. I don't want to call this a rebuilding year, but it kind of is. So we're trying to figure out, especially with the offensive coordinator switches, we're trying to find out once again who the Bengals are. So, that being said, again, I know I say that it was finally a great football game. It was, hard-hitting defense versus a hard-hitting offense and vice versa for both teams. Our defense looked great. Looked great. Now, granted, we let a couple points go, but overall, they looked great. Fantastic, if you ask me. There were a few injuries. Pac-Man, obviously did not return to the game after a few plays, and Drake Kirkpatrick with the shoulder injury. So we'll continue to monitor that and see where everything is with that. We all know how important both of those players are. But this week, I think, with the bye week coming up, I think it's going to be interesting. If we can get all the players the necessary rest that they need, and really keep the practices on point and keep motivating them and pump them up. You look at what happened to the Steelers today, and I have a soft spot for Jacksonville solely because they know what it's like to be the laughingstock of the NFL. They are on a goddamn roll this year. On a roll, and they just smacked the shit out of Pittsburgh. I haven't looked at the numbers yet, but something along the lines of 5 interceptions. Woo! That makes me so damn happy. Everybody who is a Bengals fan today is also a Jacksonville Jaguars fan, because we all hate Pittsburgh the same as everybody else does. Most likely more. We hate them a lot more, I tell you that. And to see Jacksonville, or to even hear about what Jacksonville did, I cannot wait to get through this bye week, and I just want to see Joe Mixon run right up the middle every time. I want to see him get 100 touchdowns next week. And oh God, I want to see Pac-Man back in. And I want to see Burfict get the hits. I want interceptions. I cannot wait for this Steelers game coming up. Cannot wait. Voice of the Jungle. Follow me on Twitter. Who day? Who day, baby? Week 5. Let's go Bengals.